Ugh, I should probably be doing a lot of things right now besides alive. I'm sure there's so much that needs my attention. But, yeah, fuck that. Here we are. Thanks for your patience. This is the first time. Okay, okay. Yes, I'm live. Doom, 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 doom. Greetings, salutations, welcome. Oh, shit. Yeah, I just figured it out. I just figured it out. I'm supposed to be. Where we at? 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 All right, hold on, y'all. Just a moment. Okay, there we go. Greetings, salutations. Yeah. Am I late? Yes, I am late. I'm late, and it's all Raven's fault. Yeah. Blame Raven. Blame Raven. And blame all the executive orders that we were recently signing. All right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just a moment. Yes, y'all come on in. Uh, salutations. Salutations. I 80 executive orders. Executive orders I need to be worried about. All right. Greetings. I called it. He was going to be late. It's Raven's fault. Look, it's Raven's fault. It's Raven's fault. Um, yeah, and it is. It is also the fact that the fucking world is on. Is okay. How do I put this nicely? It's also the fact that I just watched 3 hours of executive pardons being signed that actually mean something in the world. And, yes, it's actually. And I'm only going to even, hopefully, I'm only going to address two of them. I thought I was late. I was right on time. Yeah, y'all right on time. Look. I know, and I'm usually not this late, but yeah, let's talk about it. It was only 50 executive hours an hour ago. Yeah, it'll probably be 100 before in the morning. And before I even get to the January 6th rioters, let's talk about. Oh, greetings, salutations. What's up, GCPR? This is T Nathan, and this is Conversations with T Nathan that I'm just getting right into. So I feel some kind of way. Today was the day of service and also the inauguration of Donald Trump. And I know a lot of y'all didn't watch it because, you were privileged. You're privileged not to watch it or to have to witness it. But I'm not so fortunate because I like to hear things from the horse's mouth, so to speak. I don't just rely on news reports. I actually listen to what is being said because I figure if my grandparents and my mother and father had to endure racism live and in color, then I can't turn away either. Um, and I say that because somebody asked me, was I going to stay on TikTok under the fact that Trump did yada 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 yada, and I was like, if my grandparents and my parents had to stay in Mississippi because they could have left, my grandparent and my grandmother and my parents could have left Mississippi, right? But no, they stayed to fight. So I don't know. You must not know their son very well and their grandson because yeah, I don't I don't understand how you fight oppression from somewhere else. That's why I haven't run away to Europe because it's still oppressive there, and I still will be fighting. But I digress. Some people just need rose-colored glasses. I don't have a fucking pair of them. So if my grandparents and my parents had to endure it, and we're still fighting for it, well, if I run from it, then my children are going to have to endure it without a fight. So y'all do what y'all have to do. I'll do what I have to do. Stop fucking asking me. Yeah, I'm in a mood, aren't I? Yeah, I feel that kind of way about it. If you noticed earlier today, if you came into the live, we were doing a day of service. Um, but and not Uncle T put out thirst trap videos. No, I don't do thirst traps. That was a blurred glow up. I'm sure it was. But Trump signed a sweeping executive order today, during the first couple of hours in order, recognizing only two sexes, male and female, and directing federal agencies to cease promotion of the concept of gender transition. I don't think people understand what the fuck that means. I really don't think people understand what the fuck that means, right? Um, th- th- that basically is going to watch the unraveling of all federal legislation that is directed by these bureaucrats that have to do with benefiting or protecting transgender individuals. Do you understand that? I, I, I am literally, I am literally blown away. I'm just literally blown away. And to think, and to think that you all don't want the ramifications of that just rolls over people's heads. The order which Trump signed from the Oval Office is part of a broader campaign promise to rid the nation of what he calls transgender insanity and reverse diversity and inclusion initiatives instituted by the Biden administration. Do, as of today, these are his words. As of today, I will henceforth be officially policy of the United States government that there are only two genders. The executive order, which pledges to defend women from gender ideology and restore biological truth to the federal government, defines male and gender not by physical or chromosomal differences, but by reproductive function, which an administrative officer says was done intentionally. Let understand this, understand this. So if you cannot get pregnant, if you do not have the capacity to carry a child, if you look into this executive order, if you the way it is worded, your sexuality, your gender, not sexuality, excuse me, your gender is under is still under attack. Do you understand that you are defining somebody's gender just by their capacity to give birth? What about people who don't had bottom surgery already? What about people who've had hysterectomy? Right. He never lied about his gender. Marriage protection for the LGBTQ. Listen, listen. This is, and I don't think people, yeah, switching to PC. I don't think people understand this any more than they understand that TikTok isn't on the App Store. I digress. That's also another stupid question that I told people, and they're acting surprised that TikTok is not in the App Store. If you like, do people listen? This is hot chocolate, coffee mixed together. That's what it is. And it's still warm. I had it earlier today, and it's still warm. All right, so I, 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 And it's the idea that people are just okay. Like I say, all these people who are that, oh, I'm just gonna sit back and I'm not gonna do anything. And I'm like, you wouldn't do anything before. And he's like, well, I'm not watching. I'm protesting. I said, I got it for you. I'll watch it. I'll watch it. I watched it. I was listening to it today. If you followed my live, you know what I was doing today. Today, but yeah, I just can't. I just can't. There's a reason I don't delete the app. I almost did. You, Jay, how you feeling? How you feeling, nephew? Um, yeah, this is wild to me. This is wild. And in the face of all this, it's like people are fiddling while Rome burns. People are literally feeling, what's up, Jazzy? Why are you so small over here? Hold on. Say something else, Jazzy. Type something else, Jazzy. I'll see if it comes over. I put it on multi-stream. Maybe it's your words are small coming in off of you on off YouTube, I think, or maybe I haven't signed back into all the others. I don't know, but yeah. Chromosomes are characteristics of your sex, but the binary nature of sex, the reason you and I are all here, is deeper than that. It is larger than reproductive cells. But you can't you just I listened to you. I didn't delete this app. I uninstalled the other ones. Yeah, if we had more people like you who talk walk the walk, you wouldn't be have Trump. And this is the thing. This is the thing because we're going to get into the segue of the other one. But I just want you all to. I want you to marinate on what that means for a moment, because basically, women. Um, I wonder what sex are you if you can't have children? Technically, I guess you're a man. If you can't have children, and how are they going to prove if you can't have children? Does that lead to pregnancy to be able for certain benefits in the future? And the people like, oh, you go too far, T Nathan, you go too far. Did you all think we would be here after Roe versus Wade? Did you think did you think the Democrats were going to codify it into law? But this is not this is a case where people are so focused on what they don't like that they're not going to realize how it affects them, and they think his orange ass has something to do with this. I don't care. He did. He did. He did. He did. He and the CEO of TikTok. They. This is the plan. He did have something to do with it because he gave TikTok the assurances they needed for at least the next 90 days to continue service, and he did. He gave them the assurances they needed. And that's doing something about it, whether you like it or not. And but that's like if the CEO of Samsung was a racist bigot. I'm not throwing my phone out. Not throwing my phone out. Y'all can wrestle with that all you want to, and say it's all these things, but at the end of the day, this is what it is. It is what it is. Teenage, I told you people will jump into a volcano without needing needing the push before. Listen, what if you're a menopausal one? What if you're past childbearing age? I know once you're no longer of childbearing age or everything, you're a man. You will be considered a man. Yeah, male. You'll be considered male. I'm gonna say it like that. And if people are like, oh, that's not what it means. I'm so fucking tired of people telling me what something doesn't mean that turns out to mean exactly what I said it means. Or you can read it for yourself. I don't know. I don't know what to tell y'all. I think it's trouble. I think it's trouble because people are have this attitude of the sit around and do nothing attitude. Like I said, most of them weren't doing anything beforehand, and then when this comes to fruition, then they act like we didn't know or we didn't understand. Yeah, you didn't know, you didn't understand because you chose not to know or not understand until it was late. Yeah, active volcano. Active volcano. I don't even have to. I don't have to throw people in it. They just will fall into it on their own accord. Um, you were glitching real bad. Am I still glitching? Am I still glitching? Yeah. Get back to. Let me get back to this. Right. So federal agencies. Okay. Thank you. Federal agencies should use the term sex instead of gender, and remove statement policies and communications that promote gender ideology. According to the audit, agencies should give effect to the order's definitions when applying their status to regulations or guidelines. Yes, everybody needs to tap screen. All right, thank you. All right, all right. Yeah, if you might have to go in and come back out, go out, come back in. I don't know. I don't know. But do you understand that will also affect? And give me all of it. That will also affect the recording of how crimes are committed. The Department of Justice, when we talk about transgender people being four times more likely to be the victims of crime than non-transgender people, and black transgender women being the highest percentage of that, those stats will now have to be compiled outside of the federal government to be accurate, because this is going to be just women and men are the victim of crime. And then that also will stray into hate crime legislation, because it won't be a hate crime. Like I say, these are things that are going to fall out. These are the natural progression. Because you define a hate crime by a crime that's committed based upon some preconceived ideology. If you remove that preconceived ideology, and then you also start the product standard, then it's not going. Or they didn't do it because you were transgender. They were having a bad day, and therefore it's not a hate crime. Look, I'm not trying to be that person, but even people that claim they care about the LGBTQ community, let me finish that for you. I don't even. I know you. It's not. You're not being that person in a vacuum. It is literally the truth. They don't care about themselves, and so they damn sure don't care about the LGBTQIA plus community, because they sit back in the. I tell you, I keep telling people, sitting back in the face of violence or anything of that nature makes you just as complicit as everybody that's actually doing it. It feels like we're entering the dark ages. Newsflash, newsflash, been there for a while, been there for a minute. It's interesting that they don't like the LGBT community, but they play the. It is, and you know what? I tell people, it's the idea that they just don't see. That's about control. That's no different than loving black culture without liking black people. The master loved Mammy's biscuits. He didn't really care. As long as he can get Mammy's biscuit, he didn't care who he got them from. It doesn't. It speaks to that. And I try to tell people that all along. It speaks to that fact, because people make the assumption in the face of reality that because you can like the product of somebody, you could that means you like the people. No, you're trying. It's nothing. It's nothing to have whole choirs in history composed of black people that were literally put in chains as soon as they finished performing. No, it's not. It's not. It's not even strange. It's not strange at all. As someone that lives it, I don't want the lip service from these allies anymore. Raven, I thought we had been stopped accepting lip service. My lip service involves wanting to hit people in the mouth. Hit people in the mouth. That's my idea of lip service. I am tired of all of the otherness that people think I care about, that I don't. Tara, I just got a community guideline strike for commenting on the salute that happened earlier today, and I'll get to that also as soon as I transition from the topics I have lined up. Yeah, Elon Musk is Elon Muskin. Um, yeah, I just wanted to get the input on what I'm on topic with right now. Greetings, salutations, Square. Um, how you doing? A light on the hill can't be hidden. If you know, then you know. And even you don't put lights under buckets either. If you know, then you know. If you don't, well, you don't. Well, that's fine too. All right. I'm sure you're sending me something, Petra, that I should read, but I'll read it later. Because this really today, from the invocation of damn near the entire I Have a Dream speech of Martin Luther King today by the Reverend um, Lorenzo Sewell to 5 minutes ago. How long have I been live? Oh, yeah. Even at the start of the inauguration ball, he was still slamming people. And you notice what no executive order had anything to do with? He directed departments to lower prices. Like, really? It, no talk of a plan of how you're going to address the grocery prices. You say you just directed these bureaucrats to lower prices. Like, you think that's what you think this was? You thought that's how you do it? And people, listen, and people are okay. I've just heard way too many allies saying it's just 4 years. Jail is in my future. I'm so tired. Yes, I'm atheist, and he had me in tears. Teresa, the level of I had to suppress so much anger today because I was around kids or other people that were not the cause of that. I had to suppress so much anger today. And I'm listening to this stuff in real time. I'm listening to it in real time because even when I'm out and about, I'm still tuned in to what. So I'm listening. I didn't even see it until I was Don. I was talking to Chief of Security, and the library is down the street from me. It's about a brisk 15-minute walk. It's about a brisk 15 walk. I heard this, and I ran literally it's snowing outside. I mean, it's not snowing, but it's ice. It's cold. Literally, I was so hot, I ran to address it because I couldn't trust myself to address it at the present location I was at. I couldn't trust myself to address because I know if I started addressing it, I was going to scare some kids. So I ran to the house to make the video you see that I'm talking about the issue. And I still don't think people grasp it. Um, Greeting, Siren. And why was he looking up at the sky? No, why was he making the weird? Why did he do this? Why did he do this? Why did he listen, listen, I've been dealing with animated storytellers today. Luckily I have a red beard and I don't have to depend on my ability to I can read quite well. If you know me, you know, but I don't have to depend on my beard to entertain. I mean, I don't have to depend on my reading ability to entertain children because they're sitting there trying to play with my beard. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with that. If that, I'm not like Tommy. Tommy, if you watched me live today, Tommy did a great job. And it's entertaining. And you know, we had some problems with Tommy because I do live in Kansas. We had some problems not with Tommy, but with certain people. But it's one thing about being 6'4", 250 pounds, is that yeah, you mess with Tommy, you mess with me. So yeah, you mess with Tommy, you mess with me, because that is it. People wanted to question Tommy's transgenderness and all that. I was like, I will show up at your house and burn it down. Yeah, I'm preemptive strike man. Preemptive strike man. So Tommy, like if you heard it, we hadn't had story times since last year, but they're back, and yeah, I am on bodyguard duty. Yeah, so every time, if you don't see me in the daytime, that it's when we having reading days. That's where I'll be at. We can go live from there. But anyway, that's the reality of it, and that's the reality of I'm tired of people paying like Raven say. I don't need you to pay lip service to the issues. If you're not going to show up, shut up, because you're my enemy too. You're my enemy. If you're going to think you're going to distract me with your bullshit, you're my enemy too. Yeah, I stand on that. I stand on that. I stand on the fact that literally we're watching the we're watching this man do everything he said he was going to do that everybody was talking about. I don't know if he's going to do or he's just talking. And you all want to talk about if you want to talk to me about things that in the greater scheme of things don't matter to me. I don't. I don't care. And I get, I just, it's the idea. It is the very idea that a lot of this bullshit you all actually think is important to me. Too many EOs, he's making that move to dictatorship. He technically wasn't sworn in on the Bible, so can it be walked back? Technically, Teresa, stop it. Technically, you don't have to be sworn in on the Bible. Technically, you can be sworn in on the Quran. Hell, you can get Lucifer to come up if you believe in him and hold out his hand and be sworn in. That's just this idea of tradition that you Americans are not used to. This man flaunting like he don't care. No, stop it. That's not even a good valid argument about anything. There's a separation of church and state anyway. So that's I know it's a separation of church and state when it's convenient, but and then all other times not. That doesn't matter. The presidency of the United States is not dependent on you swearing in on a Bible. It's dependent upon you getting the prerequisite 2-7 and getting it certified. Yes, I'm on multiple platforms right now. I am on multiple platforms. Today I went to a drag brunch show with my partner. I need that to keep my mind right, and I'm happy. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. Yeah. Today was a day of service, and I had lunch too, and then got back to the work. Um, yeah, and I know that people are like T Nathan. You got to understand. I do understand. I do understand. Y'all do what you do, and I'll do what my ancestors prepared me to do. Like I said, all the questions that people be asking me, it's like when TikTok. You notice that I didn't make a farewell to TikTok video, right? I will never make a farewell to TikTok video. I was not on here because TikTok is a tool to me. TikTok is literally a tool. That would be like me making a video about my hammer. Well, technically, it's Metal Melter's hammer. It just happens to be at my house because he thought I needed a bunch of tools just in case something happened that I would have these tools. No, Metal Melter. I just take those tools out and dust them off every now and then. So when you come here, they won't have a layer of dust on them. That's my idea of a tool. My only tool I worry about using is a hammer and a screwdriver, and not necessarily for hammering nails or screwing screws. Yeah, those are just what I can get my hand on at the time. But yeah, they're just a tool to me. So when I was looking at these people making these farewell to TikTok, it's not even. Some people were saying bye to the people that follow them and all that, and that's fine. Like literally, but I will be making a video until people stop asking me about fan base. When I've been literally on fan base, I'll be like, you all are not on fan base until yesterday. But I digress. But it's a tool. It's a tool. I'm gonna tell you, I'm the same person that when I break my phone or crack it, I just order another one or get another one. I don't sit there and mourn it because everything on it is backed up into the cloud, so it's not like I'm losing anything. Um, But I was watching all these people, and then I wonder, is some of y'all people gonna walk these videos back? Is some of y'all gonna walk these videos back? I'm just asking for a friend because wow, you all were more emotional about the tool than you all actually are about issues. I was like, damn, I wish I can get that kind of emotion and passion involved in some of the issues that lead to the things that people are not even listening to that people are talking about. I wish. I wish I could get it. Don't get me wrong. All people that have revenue streams on TikTok and the businesses on TikTok, I understand. I understand. But a good business model from here on out is to make sure you diversify your social media platforms. But see, I also understood, I thought about that, and I said, you know what? I've been telling people what other platforms to find me on. It's literally in my beacon link. And I was like, why don't I have this? Why don't they follow you there? Or why you all why is it such a big deal at the fact? I even opened X back up. I even opened X back up. And have hundreds of thousands of followers on social media this on this application, and I only have a couple of 100,000 on other applications combined. That means that people just want to pay lip service. So I don't really have time for lip service. I don't have time for lip service. If you care about the message, then you would have been followed on multiple platforms. Like yes, Tanya, I'm on multiple platforms. The radio show. I literally am broadcasting now to the GCPR network, the network we share with Thomas, the villain Bishop. He does his morning show. But yeah, I'm not making a farewell to TikTok app. And and if you wanna, and I was telling people, do you understand? I was telling people that some of y'all were here that you can't find TikTok or any of ByteDance apps in the App Store, and they were like, "Oh, it'll be back." It's just, I was like, "Why?" Just have to prove yourself again, T Nathan. Y'all go to the App Store and download it. That's what you do. Go to the App Store and download it right now, and come back and tell me how that worked out. Go update it. Go to your literally. I told you it wasn't going to be back into the App Store until such time as they get some kind of resolution. Everybody had these theories. Oh, you can download it from Meta because Mark Zuckerberg bought it. Tiresome, tiresome. I just listen to some of y'all sometime, and I'm like, y'all are. It's this propensity to hope for the best. You're not going to work for the best. You're not going to work for it. You want somebody else to work for it, and you're ready there to reap the benefits of the best. But it, I got TikTok download on my computer and now have a VPN for next time. I'm gonna tell you something, Penelope. If you're going to do that, if TikTok shuts itself off to Americans, then if you don't create the app in another country now, you are going to be under the same thing because TikTok was shut down to Americans. The American, if you had a TikTok that was created in the United States, then when they shut down TikTok on to Americans, they you couldn't go to your VPN and log in with that account. You have to create another account, and yeah, you can bring your old account to a VPN. It's not going to work that way. I guess I can't remark on my YouTube channel about Elon Salute because welcome to the machine. I love y'all. Thanks for being you. And glad you have a YouTube piece. Yeah, thank you, Ty. Yeah, I have a YouTube, and I will. There were Americans in other countries who went dark too because they could because their accounts were actually created under America. Or it's like you could be you could be in China with your phone and still access TikTok, your regular TikTok, right? but you couldn't access TikTok on a Chinese phone. Yeah. And if you had a VPN, and it's the same way. China is the same way. You can't access apps on your Chinese phone if you're going through a Chinese service, if they don't want you to access it. How y'all enjoyed Red Dot? Red Note. Y'all still there? I find that hilarious. I find it hilarious. You're still. I haven't even got to my second topic yet because I find this hilarious. Do you understand that we watched? I'm gonna tell you, the first couple of executive orders that Trump signed really revoked and reversed 76 to 78. People were saying 80, but I counted 76. If and I know how people round up, but I counted 76 previous executive orders by Joseph Robinette Biden. Yeah, yeah. I counted that he rescinded 76 executive orders in the first nine that he signed. Yeah, I don't know. Y'all, yeah, like I told you, when they call you all a black monkey on Red Note, dude, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Don't want to know because it's already happened. People like, let me tell you what happened on Red Note. Don't care. Told you it was gonna happen. Yeah, I don't care. Don't care. I don't care. And people have never asked me am I stand on TikTok when they run the red note, and I'm like, that's like not wanting to fight in Mississippi and moving to Alabama like things are different. Yes, spare me, spare me. I am so tired of the level of ignorance among people who call themselves social justice advocates because it's dangerous. It's dangerous. I snapped on my. I love Jay. I love Jay, but I today I just was not in the mood. I was not in the mood. I am not. I'm sorry. I'm tell you all this. I love some of you, but I will not be following you all, thinking you all in a live that I actually would like to hear about. I'm not showing up anymore. Yeah, I should have been did that, but I'll see you all, and I'll be like, hey, let me go check on my fam. No, you all are not good for what I'm trying to do. Y'all are not because it's the same thing over and over. And I don't even tell my children the same thing over and over. I don't. So I won't be, if you don't wonder why I'm not stalking you all anymore, I'm not stalking you all because it's, yeah, it's counterproductive. It's like you all are the reason that the toxicity spreads and you all refuse to take accountability for it or responsibility. You come up with all these fucking excuses to do the same thing over and over. So I won't be there. I can't be there. Yeah, because I'll be said something to hurt your feelings. Um, if I go live, it's definitely the end times. Yeah. Nah, so that's it. So I know if you don't come to my live because of that, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with that also. But yeah, this is today listening, watching these executive orders be signed and seeing how people just play kumbaya. Um, yeah, what's the name of the fan app again? Are you talking about fan base? Talking about fan base? The app that's mini Patreon that doesn't cater, you know. And I support. I'm on fan base, but yeah, and I also got. And for the person who said I was being too critical of a black app, like I'm not critical of other apps, you do know you got the wrong one, right? Yes, Fanbase is not new. Fanbase has been out for years. Like I say, was at the rollout. Was at the rollout. And if one of you weak ass bitches tell me something like that again, I'm gonna make an example of you. I'm gonna make an example of you. Have some content because I'm going to make an example of you. Yeah. Just those tell you, it's a lot of this grace is over. It is over. it is over. That so step accordingly. You know I don't care. You know I don't care. You know what I care about. I care about the community. I care about the issues we fight for. I do. But I won't I won't sacrifice the community for an individual's need to be toxic, even if I care about you. I won't. It's just too much riding on it that I just believe most of y'all don't care about. I seriously believe that. I believe that most of y'all don't care. You can't convince me. Today I'm watching executive order at the executive order, and I look at lives. I look at lives. Yeah. Was anybody that these so-called political pontiffs talking about them? Oh no, no, no. They were arguing about bullshit. I don't even know what they were arguing about. I don't know. As many times as I say, hey, allowing toxic people into racists and bigots into your space in a panel, the first person that's going to be hurt are black women. And I don't think, and some of you all, I don't think you all care about black women or women in general. And don't tell me I can handle it. It's different. I'm not talking about you can't handle it. Well, that's like a toxic frog. A toxic frog gives off toxicity. Doesn't mean the frog can handle the toxicity. The toxicity from the toxic frog will even kill their eggs. Do you understand that? You all tell me, well, I got it, I got it. And then you don't have it. You think because you can withstand toxicity, you're interjecting something that also counters it. You're not countering it. You're not even good at ad hominems. You're not even good at ad hominems. But you countering toxicity. A lot of y'all not good at facts. Not good at fact. You can't see anything coming because you're too busy arguing about nothingness with people who can't rub two brain cells together and form a coherent thought. If you're going to argue with somebody that can't form to a coherent thought, at least be able to form one yourself. I was listening to somebody and they were talking about gas prices from 2018. And I understand everybody doesn't have eidetic memory and remember charts and all that. I get it. But they're a simple Google search away. So if somebody comes on and say, hey, gas prices in 2018 or $1.68, I'm like, what planet you on? What planet? No, your question is show me. I'm not going to ask you to show me that because it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Show me where you get your information from. What information? Like I'm going to give validity to some quasi quasi news station or news a media that is nothing but a left lean, a right lean rag. Even Fox doesn't put out information like that. Uh, went into 16 lives, and this is the only one saying anything meaningful about the orders. Yeah, the reason I was late even getting here was because of Raven. So why don't let Raven off the hook. The reason I was this late is because I was literally on the phone ranting with Raven at 9:58. 9:58 in my boxers, I was ranting with Raven. I just threw on the bear onesie and got here. 7 minutes and I'm still angry. What, 7 minutes? What? I haven't even got. Oh yeah, DJ, you just on. You might as well sit back because I haven't even got to the 1,500 people that were pardoned in the January 6 rioters. I haven't even got to that. So no, because I'm still in awe of the fact that that the first these executive orders and no one's paying attention. Heavy on the part about being bad at ad hominems live. I never felt this assaulted once. Yeah, because you're better at ad hominems than they are at ad hominems. It's like it is. It is facts. It's all my fault. Yes, it's all Raven's fault. And they got to make it up to me by driving a long distance sometime in March. Yeah, they're gonna make it up to me. And they're gonna be driving long distance, and I'm gonna go to sleep. Yeah, just like yeah, I'm going to sleep on the whole road trip. I'm not. Not. I'm going to close my eye. I'm not even sitting in my usual seat. I'm going to be in the back with the luggage. I'm be laying out with the luggage. Yeah, so y'all make sure y'all have some pillows in your luggage. Yeah, I'm laying out in the luggage. Yep. Don't trust myself. We're going to Alabama. And yeah, I gotta save all my energy for my sporty ass mouth when I get to Alabama. People be saying, I go somewhere in the South, and they be like, "Oh, you gotta tone it down. You gotta be." I'm gonna, I'm gonna make sure my beard is on point. It's gonna be redder than red, and I'm make sure that my sporty ass mouth is on point. I might not even speak for like 4 days to make sure I don't have laryngitis, and I'm ready. I'm showing up ready. Yeah, that's how it's going to be. Yeah, I'll be well rested and ready, and I'm being Selma. I told you. If I have to go pick up cans, if I have to go out here pick up cans and take them to the trash compactor, we're going to be in Selma. Yeah. I got after today, I got $4.37. No, I actually have $54.37. But I'm going to Selma on March the 5th. Yes, March 5th through the 10th. I will be in Selma. If I have to eat ramen noodles, I will be in Selma because that's how important it is. That's how important it is. These pardons are getting to bring a different type of lawlessness. Yes, he's EQ'd the reinstallment of the federal death penalty. Yes, yes. Um, and look, I'm glad I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm ambitious because that's the transition. I'm coming back to the two genders thing because it's going to be a running thing now. There's an executive order for it, and like I say, I don't think people heard it. I'm coming back to it because everybody's going to try to people going to try to intellectualize it, right? Like it doesn't say anything about reproductive. Like it's like literally an executive order that defines female by reproductive abilities. And nobody sees a problem with that because most of the people, as quiet as it's kept, you don't like transgender people either. You come up with the idea, well, I tolerate everything. I don't need you to tolerate me. Don't tolerate me. Don't tolerate me. What is that supposed to mean? That's the same little thing. It's the same kind of attitude people took during the civil rights movement. I tolerate black people. Okay, I tolerate them. Tolerate. I tolerate being sick because there's nothing else. I tolerate it, but until I get well. Yeah. Ugh. Hold on. I'm talking about it on live now. Yeah. Yeah. I always have to stop and answer the besties text message. Okay. So President Trump has pardoned nearly every criminal charge that participated in the January 6th riots. The executive order he signed effectively wipes away legal consequences for all but 14 of the nearly 1,590 people that were given charges and over the riot. People thought, oh, he's not gonna pardon people that committed violent acts. He pardoned all but 14 of the 1,590 people. And I'm not sure the other 14 won't eventually get a pardon. These people have been destroyed. This is Trump. These people have been destroyed. What they've done to these people is outrageous. Yeah, and this was a campaign promise. So it's like when I see, even though it's the idea this is a campaign promise to address 1,500 and 76 people, 1,576 people were pardoned. 1,500, and you all have the nerve to think I care about a lot of the other things that are going on TikTok. I don't. I don't. I don't care. Like I say, I watched the executive order after executive order after executive order. And you think while I was at a day of service, while I'm at a day of service, while people are just talking about activism, while I'm at a day of service, I'm watching executive order after executive order. I get home and I'm watching more executive order after more executive order. I don't care. I don't care about what people are saying that don't have anything to do with the fact that my transgender friends are in trouble by executive order. By executive order, my friends that are of out of childbearing age, they're in trouble by executive order. That this man is basically doing everything I said he would do, and people were like, "Oh, it's just talk." By executive order. First day, okay, I admit he only got to 80 executive orders before the inauguration ball. I still can be right that he'll hit 100 before midnight. But you all think I care about shit? I don't even care that I went to prison. I don't care that I went to prison. I don't care what people do or say when it comes to things that are not relevant. I didn't care then. Let me tell you a secret, since all of y'all are missing it. I didn't care then. I was in prison not caring. Not caring. I just learned that some people ain't shit. I learned that lesson and I moved on. Because if I care, I'll show up at one of these weak ass bitches' houses and burn it down with them in it. See, that's why I don't care. Because I can't, you can't afford me caring. You can't afford me caring. I don't care. I laugh and joke about shit that people take seriously because I have to, because I will show up at one of these weak bitches' houses and I will start on the East Coast and I will stop on the West. I will make the California wildfires look like a day on the beach. Stop fucking with me about shit I don't care about. Because when I care, you know I care. Because people be trying to raise money then to replace everything they had in that house when I burnt it to the ground. Call a probation officer about that. As a matter of fact, send them this clip. That's how worried I am about it. This is the reality of what I care about right now. These executive orders, and I have only got to two of these executive orders. Two of them that are going to affect people I love and care about. That I love and care about. Aren't they supposed to apply for a pardon first? No, you don't have to apply for a pardon. I don't think the extent of President Biden on his way out the door pardoned people preemptively that didn't ask for pardons. Didn't ask for them. He pardoned people preemptively that didn't ask for a pardon. No, not at all. Don't have to apply. I hope all the people that said T doesn't care about the trans community are listening real close. Like I said, I will show up. I always show up when I things I care about. He pardoned, P can't spell his name. Yes, he did. The indigenous activists. Yes, he pardoned. Listen, and don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm Biden on the way out the door. Pardoned Marcus Garvey too, right? Um, way out the door. See, this is another thing. Um, y'all think I care about what people say that don't even know how to read books? Um, or keep the bathroom clean. Listen. Marcus Garvey. Marcus, yeah, Marcus Garvey, the father. This is a great book, by the way. I might would have changed the title a little, but I understood it. I understand why they say that. But um, he because Marcus Garvey, if y'all don't know, I didn't realize how many people didn't know Marcus Garvey, or that he also was responsible for forming the one of the first black-owned travel company in the country, right? And that he was indicted on mail fraud charges. Yes, but Marcus Garvey, he. I'm gonna tell you something, and even though I understood the gesture, but I'm gonna tell you who wouldn't have cared. Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey. This is one of the things people do for show, and like I say, I understand that you people can stop calling Marcus Garvey a convicted felon because he has a federal pardon, but that's not going to stop anybody from calling him a convicted felon any more than it stops people from incorrectly talking about how Dr. Martin Luther King got his name. But I digress. But yeah, Marcus Garvey, he pardoned him on the way out the door. Okay. He pardoned it, but I did. But let me tell you, I did like the play on pettiness that while Joseph Biden and Jill Biden were meeting at the first initial meeting with Trump and Melania, and they were heading over to St. Andrew's Cathedral, the cathedral. I mean, it's not even a cathedral. The church for that first service. I thought it was interesting that while Trump was giving his inauguration speech, that Joseph Biden had minutes prior to that pardoned the preemptive pardons for Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, and other people, right? Fauci and Milley. And while Trump didn't know that while he was giving the speech, I did think that was petty funny. Now, that's the kind of petty that is funny and impactful. And right when somebody get here, I need y'all to help me clean up my library. Yeah, my books are everywhere. I usually have them in order. Now I have to because I'll pick one up and read it, and I'll just put it back somewhere. Yeah, now I have to put all my books back in order. But yeah, I don't think yeah, he pardoned Garvey, and it's like Garvey dead, been dead, but he wouldn't have cared. He would have been no more like me. I don't care. It's like once you live your life with this kind of that's still. It's like yeah, someone pardon me. I'm dead. I'm dead. But I must say this also on executive orders. While I tell you the Republicans politic better than the Democrats. Joseph Biden did a hell of a lot of great executive orders in the last 60 days of his presidency, right? The last 45 days of his presidency, they were exceptional. Trump is doing executive orders on the first day of his presidency. Joseph Biden, if you had all these great ideas, you should have did them at the top of your presidency. Because Donald Trump understand, even if the Constitution holds, he's only going to be a one term president. If Joe Biden would have accepted the fact that he was only going to be a one-term president in the beginning, like he said, a transitional president, he would have did these same executive orders at the beginning of his tenure, and he might would have at least a Democrat might have had an option to hold off Donald Trump, but the failure to exercise the same system, and it's like people were telling me, oh, Democrats, they have class and style. They're not going to do like the Republicans did on January the 6th, right? The Republicans are back in the White House. And back in the White House, they control the Senate and they control Congress and the Supreme Court. Didn't look like January 6th hurt them too bad. And on top of all that, 1,500 and 76 of them got pardoned for anything they had to do with January 6th. Um, Tell me about your nobility in class again. Tell me one more time. Run that by me again. Run that by me again. Yeah. Tell me what I'm missing. Trump reversed all of Biden's accomplishments through not all of them. He couldn't have. Some of them have already, not all of them. And this is more about where we are now. He reversed a lot of the impact now that the last president. I know y'all are enamored with Obama. I get it. I get it. Even though he showed up and Michelle didn't. I'm enamored with Michelle. Yeah, I'm enamored with Michelle. I'm enamored with the women of the Democratic Party who have backbone. Um, Obama didn't do as much as he could have done during 8 years where he could have solidified it. But I understand y'all enamored with Obama and y'all get mad when I say anything negative about Obama. And all of my problem with Obama's are all political. I think he's a great guy, but I have all kinds of issues with the political rhetoric. Because if you're going to make affordable health care your signature piece of legislation over 8 years, then you could have made it a lot goddamn better. Yeah, you could have did it a lot better. You could have used even a President Obama. President Obama could have done the way that I watched Joseph Biden atone. Because don't get me wrong, I know that the executive orders he did about crack cocaine and powdered cocaine disparity in sentences that fall out from the 1994 crime bill. I know he did that as atonement. I know he did it as atonement, but he did it. He did it. Those are same executive orders while the Obama administration was acknowledging the disparity in sentencing for black people under the legislation that incarcerated black people and disproportionately affected their sentencing because people were acting like crack cocaine was different than cocaine because cocaine was a white drug and black people and in the community we had crack cocaine. Obama could have did the same thing. So I don't want people really to get me started because I have a lot to say. Yes, at the end, time's up. All right, GCPR. I'm going to cut you all off because I'm being harassed by the family. And DJ, um, you lucky. You lucky. I was probably going to be on GCPR for the next hour at least, but family is like DJ is probably sitting there twiddling his thumbs. He probably just reading. He probably just reading something. He don't mind. He get paid. He get paid the same if I run over or not. But yeah, it's a show. All right, GCPR. If you'd like to hear the rest of this, hey, you know where to find me at. But I'm not finished yet. Yeah, I'm all into. I was had a bootleg movie lined up, but I knew I was gonna be late, and I'm not gonna do a 4 hour exit. I'll holler at you all later, but peace. All right, are you happy, Robert? I'm signed out of GCPR. I'm signed off the radio. All right, I I come in peace. He did not have support from Congress. He did not have support for Congress. Do you know I was alive during the Obama administration? You do know that, right? You do know that Obama and the Democrats controlled the House, the the House, the Senate at one time. You do know that they were in the same position that the Republicans are in now. You do know that. Do I need to pull it up? We don't follow the man's concept of time. Right, right. Uh, Robert, focus, focus. I don't know, Robert. I don't know. I was thinking about watching a movie because I have. If y'all know Bats McFly, he's on TikTok. A lot of y'all follow him. He has a movie that I was gonna play tonight called A Quiet Storm, and I don't know. I might have to play it another night because I'm on this soapbox right now. I'm on this soapbox about what happened today. So I was too, and I'm older than you. I feel that. I feel that. I feel that. I feel that you're older than me, and no disrespect intended. So you know that at the time that Obama was in office, the Democrats had control of the Senate, the House, and the House. Right? They fought Obama at every term. I don't know how much better the CARE Act could have been as someone. It could have been a lot better. It could have been a lot better. Yeah, it could have been a lot better. It could have been a lot better. It could have been true universal health care instead of universal access to insurance, for one. We could have started there. We could have got a bill that was actually universal health care and not universal access to insurance. This is the road y'all want to go down with for a little drive. Y'all, he said he didn't do what he was supposed to do. I wasn't even gonna get to the clip of him on talking to Anderson Cooper about the very things that you all. I guess you all didn't see the interview that Obama gave about Obama. Guess y'all didn't see that interview where he said he didn't do as much as he could, and he regretted that because he was too busy trying to appease something. I'm not handling this well. I feel like I'm not handling this well. You're good. I told you. Chief of Security. I got this. I got it. I got it. Because I like I say, the idea of the reality. Oh, we want. I know what we need. I know what we need. Hold on. Give me a minute. I'm off the radio now, so I can also do this. Dun dun dun. Under President Obama. Yeah. Okay. Dun 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 dun. Dun. All right. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Don't for me. I'll just make love to you, girl. And y'all know. You know when you know what you're talking about, it's not hard to find out what you're talking. Said you. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Yeah. All right. So, and I understand. I understand. Um, Large minorities. And the thing is that I can do this all. Trump is trying to say VP Harris is not U.S. citizen. Yeah, I don't care about that. Check y'all DM when y'all get time. Check your DM. You don't you have my phone number? Don't you have my phone number? I'm sending you mean my text messages? Told y'all about sending me DM. Um, who's in here? Who in here? Somebody send Mad King my phone number while we live, so whatever he wants me to see, he can send it to me. Y'all send somebody who check. Look, somebody go to DM. Yeah, thank you, Penelope. Send Mad King my phone number because I didn't know Mad King didn't have my phone number. I always assumed he did. 1-800 Big Dome. 1-800. You got yeah. You right. You right. You got the wrong D word though. You got the wrong D word, pirate. It's the wrong D word. Wrong D word. Unless you're talking about the dome on the end of the D word that you didn't use. Yeah. Okay. All right. I got you. You knew that was literally low hanging fruit, pirate. You usually do better than that. That was literally low hanging fruit. Oh, man. So listen up. So like I was telling you, from the 111th Congress. I want to give you the exact numbers, right? I want to give you the exact numbers, and I want you to think about the control of the House of Representatives right now is only a three vote margin, right? Starting in 2009, beginning the 1100th and the 111th Congress, in the month that Barack Obama was inaugurated, the House of Representatives were made up of 257 Democrats, 178 Republicans. From 2009 to 2011, is there any question that the Democrats had control of Congress? Before we move on, y'all get their numbers right. You got it. Do people should know by now? The Dems always run on getting Congress back and doing nothing else. Do you understand? And like I say, I'm doing this as respectfully as possible. I'm not, you know, I'm 57 years old. I'm doing this as respectfully as possible. Do you want to know how many Senate seats? Like I say, you don't want to. You want to know how many Senate seats the Democrats held? 57. You know how many Senate seats there are? 100. So they control Congress by a wide margin, not the margin that we're looking at today for the Republicans. They controlled it by a wide margin. Filibuster. I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm glad you mentioned the filibuster that they had the opportunity to get rid of. Yeah, I'm glad because you know you're older than me and you understand. So first, you concede the fact that I was right about the Democrats having control of Congress from 2009 to 2011, right? You concede that fact. Before I move on and address Philip, I have to do this all the time because people act like I don't know what I'm talking about. So you concede the fact that Democrats had control, and you go look up the 111th Congress, and you will see these numbers just in case you didn't know. And I'm saying, and you will understand that the margin is wide was wider then than it is today. See, the margin was not even close. See, Republicans can't afford to lose two votes. If they would have lost two votes, Mike Johnson wouldn't be the Speaker of the House. At 257 legislatures in the Democratic Party, and then in the House, you could have lost a lot of votes. You didn't have to appeal to everybody in your own party to get stuff passed. Okay, so can't. Before I go on, I just want to make sure we are not disputing the facts I'm speaking when I say that they had control. Going to bed. Good night. What's up, Tim? Good night. I will do a movie tomorrow. I apologize, Tim. I know you was going to stay up for the movie, but I gotta get this out my system now, um, because have more acts of service tomorrow. Um, is the live? Oh, can y'all hear me? Is the live frozen? Is the live frozen? Is some? I'm waiting for an answer to the question I just asked. Um. Oh, okay. The live's not frozen. Okay, there it is. Okay, Grand Nana D. So you accept the fact that when I said that they had control of the Senate and the House, I was right. You froze a few moments ago, but you go. Yeah, I was wondering if I can get a yes that they had control of the House from 2009 to 2011. Can I get an amen? You see my numbers. I like that. I like that. I like that, Grant. That's the same kind of gaslighting. Not gaslighting. I'll just say, I see your numbers. All I asked is, are you acknowledging I was right in what I was talking about? That's the first thing. But you see my numbers. Good enough. I'm used to that too. So if I am right that you had a wide majority in both the Senate and the House, and there should have been no legislation that you wanted to get through that you could, thank you, ambitious. I appreciate it. Thank you. There's no legislation that if you wanted to get through short of an appropriations bill that you still should have been able to get through than an omnibus bill. Listen, the Republicans got through an omnibus bill under a Democratic president that included the banning of TikTok, aid, a financial bill with aid to the Ukraine and Taiwan and Israel. One bill. And you all want to tell me that the Affordable Health Care Act couldn't have been the Affordable Health Care Act and include universal health care and not universal access to insurance. Are you sure this is the street we want to go down? Are we sure? I'm just talking about one piece of legislation. One piece of legislation. The Republicans under a Democratic governor, on a Democratic president, managed to get through multiple pieces of legislation that wound up on his desk and he didn't even veto. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like I said, I am being, I'm just waiting. I'll be swearing this lie be freezing up, right? Because the accusations come quick, fast, and in a hurry. The response to my logical arguments are really slow. The response to my arguments are really slow. The Republicans took his pen off this thing. Real slow. I said, and I stand on it. The Republicans are better at politicking than weak ass Democrats are. Thank you for your breakdown. But so you're saying, so am I wrong? That's what I want to get to because the accusation was different than what you're saying. The breakdown has existed since 2009. I didn't say anything new. I just presented it, because I know you're older than I am, but I was an adult in 2009, and I campaigned for Obama also, and also, like I said, I think people think my critique of Obama and his presidency is a critique of the man himself. When I continue, it's just like when I critique the civil rights movement. That doesn't mean I don't like, I didn't respect Dr. King. I just critique the methods of the civil rights movement that was a failure. Yeah, that's all. So, and I was alive for that too. So I'm just trying to understand how is it that people can critique me, and when I respond to the critique with facts, all of a sudden they forget the critique of me and what I was saying, that I showed you the facts of what I'm saying, and the fall off is my breakdown was accurate. The breakdown um since 2009. And if the Affordable Health Care Act, and every time I talk about the Affordable Health Care Act, people come to me with what he couldn't do. When literally you're telling me now, you could have made another one. I was in Chicago. Jan, I was in Chicago. As a matter of fact, I got video from being on in the Millennial Park during that time. Yeah, I got video on it, and I also made a commentary about the next day with trash cleanup, how nobody showed up for trash cleanup, as a um, as a prelude, as a metaphor for we didn't show up to continue to give President Obama the support he needed to do even more. But from 2009 to 2011, he did have the tools he needed, but that was because Vivek and Elon have fallen out. Vivek leaving Dodge to run. No, I don't know. I'm not sure they fell out, but I noticed that because, and I knew. I knew that Vivek was eyeing the governor of Ohio when he was eyeing the Senate seat too. And I knew when the governor didn't appoint him to the Senate seat that he wanted that was being replaced. I knew he was going to run for governor then because that's what MAGA supporters do. Their level of pettiness is outstanding if you really watch it. I knew that Vivek was going to challenge the governor, especially when you have your money and you can. I knew it. I knew it. I knew that Vivek had different plans when he was running for president. Name recognition, making sure he was in the news cycle. I wasn't sure what it was, but a governor makes sense. But he wanted that Senate seat too. He wanted the Senate seat that was vacated by J.D. Vance. But when the governor appointed the lieutenant governor, because the governor wanted to get rid of the lieutenant governor, yeah, and people don't realize that the governor appointed the seat, and he wanted to get rid of the lieutenant governor because the lieutenant governor would have been could have been competition for his governorship. So it's like, yeah. But when he did that, I knew. I was like, yeah, Vivek wants in government through the front door. We can't do better without critiques. Right, Jazzy. We can't. And sometimes sometimes you all live under illusions that I just am obligated to shatter. And I know I probably lost a follower in the way that I broke that down. Probably lost somebody as a follower, but I, I didn't come here um, to cry over tools. This is a tool. And if you are going to, and I hope I didn't lose you, but if I did, I understand it because my social skills are like zero. Good, thank you. I didn't lose. I didn't lose. But I'm just saying, but we can't do better. We have to, it's like people don't like me critiquing fan base. And I'm like, so because I'm black, I'm not supposed to critique how we can be better as an app. I'm not supposed to critique, and that's how we get in these positions where we get sub. We're supposed to accept subpar. We're not supposed to accept subpar from white people, but we're supposed to accept subpar from our people. Yo, I've never heard of fan base until this past Saturday. And that's another thing. Dressed in Sword, it's in my Beacon link. The videos are in my bio. Like I say, I was at the rollout in Atlanta, personally invited, and was there. So when I hear people say that, like you said, you hear about it when they feel like they have to go somewhere else because their favorite ship is sinking. Um, and just like now, I'm gonna make a video and talk about the same issues about following me on other platforms, and no one's going to do it. And then at the 11th hour, at the 89th day, they're gonna run around here talking about what platform you're gonna be on, where can I follow you at? Uh, I don't know. I'm not answering those questions. If TikTok shuts down in 90 days, I'm not making. I'm gonna make the same videos I use. Make the last day like I did the last time, and I was talking about Snoop Dogg performing the last time TikTok shut down. You didn't see me crying on TikTok about a tool. 75 days now. Starting, I thought it was 90 days starting today. I would think you are the most qualified person to critique me. Yeah. No, I bring facts. I bring facts to the table, not my feelings. And like I say, the way my memory, the way my memory, if activism is done offline, did it really happen? I just read 75 days. Okay, no problem. The brain, I know you know. So like, I was just going by the extension. But like I say, in 74 days, you still will not be getting oh, it's me. Bullshit critique can have positive effects. Some people need thicker skin. I've been Googling the orders while you were talking. Thank you. Look, look, look. Yeah, I was reading about him in real time. It's like he would sign one, and I would and it was like instantly a minute later it's up and I'm reading it. And that's another. I was going to be late tonight regardless if I talk to Raven. Let me go on and put it out there because I am literally well, no, I was still going to be late. I just would have covered more ground if I wasn't talking for Raven. But anyway, because Raven require, even when I'm talking to everybody that talks to me knows I'm usually doing more than one thing than just talking to them at the same time. Um, I am literally going through. I'm reading and talking, and it's not. If you know me and you talk to me, it's not like you don't have my attention. It just doesn't take all my attention to do some things, right? I know people like I need your undivided attention. When people tell me like that, my attention is divided between who the fuck are they talking to and listening to what they say. So my attention is already divided. I just have multiple divided attention. I'm usually reading several screens when I'm talking to people if I'm not reading a book. Yeah, I'm literally reading stuff. So when I was talking to Raven, I was also reading the executive orders that were being posted as he signed them. Trump signs an executive action that delays enforcement of TikTok ban for 75 days. Yeah. So there is that. But yeah, people really don't like me when I critique. People don't really like it when I critique the Democrats and somehow and their weakness. And they really don't like it when I critique the work of Barack Obama when it comes to more he could have done, and even in his own words. Exactly. I'm not mentally going to be something else. But TikTok's ultimate fate in America remains in doubt. Yes, that's why it's not back in the App Store. The dumb cap or how much I can type. That's why it's not back in the App Store. That's why Capcom is not back in the App Store. That's why Lemonade is not back in the App Store. That's why Marvel Snap. Oh my goodness, TikTok. The second biggest complaining I seen on X when TikTok was dark was fanboys realizing that ByteDance was in control of Marvel Snap, and they would and Marvel Snap had gone dark also. I'm telling you, I'm literally laughing. I'm literally crying laughing. Yeah. Text sent. All right. Now let me tell you. Let me welcome you to the Text T Nathan Club. All right. I have a tendency to open up this text. Damn, that's a long text. I have a tendency to open up text while I'm live and read them. And sometimes, yeah, I like the way you started off too. Yeah, I know who it was. Is the if you have, I know who it was because you're the only person that texted me that if. But yeah, what's up? So just realize for future reference, if you don't want me to talk about something in a text when you send it to me, don't send it to me while I'm live because I will read it out loud. But for this your first inaugural text, I'm going to quickly read it and yes. Okay. Listen, Matt King, listen up, and maybe we can go live after this. Um, but I've literally had a whole conversation about this. I never made a video about it because I talked about how MAGA supporters are moving into Tennessee, in the small town in Tennessee, and they're taking it over. It's a town of 3,000, and they're descending on it, buying a property, and property. They're going to have voting rights, and they're going to basically take over the town because the town has a built-in infrastructure. And my whole conversation was that there are Mount Bayou, Mississippi. Look up Mount Bayou, Mississippi is a black town. It was incorporated in the after slavery, and it was a pastor's right. Most people know about Tulsa, or they know about Seneca, or they know about Elaine, Arkansas, they know about Wilmington, South Carolina, or they know about Rosewood. They know about those. But Mount Bayou was also a town, and during the civil rights, during the trial of Emmett Till, it was also where the black reporters and the black travelers that came to Mississippi for the trial because they couldn't stay in the white hotels in the area of Money, Mississippi. They stayed in Mount Bayou with Dr. TRM Howard. I literally talked about how we should move to one of these towns and take our dollars with us and turn these towns and back into prosperity, but not only prosperity, but we also can grow them. Drawback the drawback is that until we learn how to, and this is why I go pan-african and believe that we cannot truly have the kind of liberation we seeking in this country, because the history of this country is anytime you Negroes get uppity enough to think you are I tell people all the time, our this country's history since slavery is literally littered with self-sustaining, prosperous black communities. And what happened to them? What happened to them? You understand? Atlanta once was set on fire. The Atlanta was once set on fire. It's not that the idea is not sound and good in this fact, but self-sustaining black towns are we can do that. That's not a problem. It's the fact that, oh, let me add you to my contact list. I can't believe. Oh, I don't know. I'm adding you. Uh, uh, the problem is that we don't have the ability to defend them. So it would be a threat to America, basically. Yeah, in the my stepfather, your stepfather was born. Your stepfather was born there. I have, I'm I don't know if you know this, but yeah, I'm from Mississippi. Anybody who follows me knows that I am from Mississippi. So I've been to Mount Bayou many times, and I've cried at the history of it and seeing what it is today. And it's our fault. It's our fault that Mount Bayou is in the condition it is today, because, like I say, it's nothing wrong with critiquing black creation, but it's another thing to critique it and walk away from it. Even though I'm critical of fan base and other things, I still stay and try to help make them better. So even when I critique President Obama's presidency, I can acknowledge the things he did well, and I can also say we could have done this better, and I would have, maybe I should have done more of that at the beginning of Kamala Harris's campaign, because a lot of those things she was saying are not feasible to do. But I digress. I didn't want to confuse anybody. Um, but yeah, when you get to it, and yeah, Shay, I remember you told me that. I remember told me that. There should be a futuristic hidden nation in Africa that controls a single record. pirate, pirate, pirate. You gonna get 5 seconds for that? Stop playing with me. Yeah. Um, you haven't got 5 seconds yet? Oh, my moderators are not listening. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna make you a moderator, pirate, because you got to protect you from my 5 seconds. Yep, pirate, you just got 5 seconds. Yeah, pirate got 5 seconds, y'all. But the idea, Matt King, going back to you, is that it's feasible. It's always feasible. But our problem is that anytime one racist white woman decides that, a black man looked at her the wrong way, or she feels threatened, white tears burn our towns down. When you think about the history of Tulsa, and I talk about Tulsa as an example because people know it, but Rosewood was the same way. It's not that they just burn our towns down; they also come and steal our chandeliers and our pianos and all the things they were envious of in the town in the first place. We have no way to insulate our towns against the reprisal of white supremacists, because even if you took my way, We could stop the first wave easily, but y'all don't want to bury them like I suggest, and keep and just keep burying them. But and it's not, and it's like the scene in Selma when the young man comes running up and he's asking Eddie for where he keeps his guns at, right? And yeah, man, James was right. James was right. Nonviolence in the face of overwhelming violence that can be done is not strategically sound. But we never move ourselves into strategically sound positions. We don't we don't move ourselves into strategically sound positions. Um, so that's why King wasn't a threat when he was preaching nonviolence. King became a threat when he went on NBC. King first started to become a threat when he went to when he was California, um, when he was speaking at the university in California about the two Americas at Stanford. At Stanford, that king was different than the king in 65. The king and when he was speaking in Stanford was the king that went into Chicago, and some of his own people threw stones at him because he was taught through rocks at him because he was hitting the head in Chicago with a rock, by the way, from somebody who looked like him, because he was talking about divesting from whiteness financially. That wasn't the same king that was shot on that balcony on April 4th in 1968 in Memphis. The king that died that day was the king that the night previously gave a speech in support of the garbage workers that they came there to support, and as people told black people, you need to divest of Coca-Cola, you need to take your money out of black or white banks and form black banks. That's the king that was a threat. So when you talk about all this thing, and you understand, Mount Bayou had its own bank, had its own hospital. You know, the railroad came through there, so they had their own port of delivery. You know, um, and and I know you were born there, Shay, and it's a spectacular thing. People think it's a spectacular thing, and it is. It is. But it's not, it's common for us. It's common. We can do that. That's not the problem. But if you do it and you don't have a means of protecting it from that first wave of violence that's going to inevitably come, Mount Bayou's situation is also financially because it still had to depend on financial dollars from the white community. Even though it had its own bank, it didn't have a banking system that extended to the fact that you could get unlimited capital without going through white institutions to finance the growth of your city. That's a problem. That's a problem. Because at the end of the day, we don't have any Harry Belafonte type millionaires like we did during the civil rights movement anymore. We don't. We don't have people like Madam C.J. Walker. And don't get me wrong, we have people that are fabulously wealthy, black people that are fabulously wealthy. And I'm not asking for much. $10 million investment from a couple of you all in our banking system, in our bank. But you know what happens? The same reason I can't raise any money to go to feed people is because I was looking at like, oh, but this is going to happen, but this is going to happen. But you literally have millions of dollars in a bank that can go under at any time, and you have a higher standard on the bank. I don't want to invest in black banks because they're not financially sound. What do you mean they're not financially sound? Yeah, y'all missed the stock market crash of 207, 204. Y'all missed those. But anyway, but yeah, that is an issue. Matt King, you still here? For freedom, violence must happen. To protect freedom, violence is. It's like I tell people. Do you know what? Anyone know what Pax Romana means? We have Pax Americana. We have Pax Americana. It means peace of Rome, and it's peace, Peace of Rome, not piece of Rome, like you got a piece of it. And Rome was one of the most violent country empires to ever exist at the extent that they would use violence to maintain the peace. They had Pax Romana for as long as it did because they had an army that enforced the peace of Rome onto everybody that they conquered. Just like the United States has Pax Americana, because at the end of the day, they have the ability to enforce their peace with their military might. We don't have that. We don't even have Pax guerrilla man. We don't even have Pax guerrilla warfare. Nigrana. Yeah. Did y'all get all? You got? Yeah. Okay. They get mad when we defy their racist belief of us and wait for a reason to attack. Right? This is what I need. I needed. This is what I needed. I needed to know the problem so I can plan to fix. Um, just to understand that your planned fix has to either include a doorway that racists can't pass through to get to your extra dimensional location. Like, well, I don't know, like you get some Krakoan plants and only certain people can pass through the doorway to get you to Krakoa. I know it's a loose reference. I got it. I got it. My blurs and nerds will understand it. Or you get to the fact that you can maintain a certain political independence if you have enough people, but you also at the same time must be willing to defend that. And on American soil, it's like Operation Move. Operation Move was self sufficient also, but they didn't have any anti helicopter um, or anti aircraft artillery. But I say helicopter specifically because that's what they used to drop bombs on Operation Move in '85. And that's the same thing. The United States has no problem with people always talking about the United States doesn't attack its citizens on American soil to the level that we do in other countries. Tulsa was the first use of modern aircraft in bombing a city, and that city was in the United States. The first use of modern aircraft to bomb a city was carried out by by citizens in the United States against citizens in the United States. Yeah. Elon developed his own town based on a need to work from him. Similar idea. Yes, Elon can do that because, and you know what I'm about to say, right? You know what I'm about to say. Yeah, you know what I'm about to say. The difference. Yeah, he white. They just built another town. You know that's another town that wasn't controlled by black people yearning for liberation. And I'm gonna say this: while it's nice, it's a nice idea. Let me tell you the other drawback to your idea. When you create a central place for black people to be it's like if you create a place, W.E.B. Du Bois, even though I can't stand him a lot, he used to go to Mountain Bayou a lot, but he didn't live there. He didn't live there. All of the all of the greats of that time when Mountain Bayou was really popping went there, but they didn't live there because the consolidation of too much black intellect in one place means you could take us all out with one swipe. Just imagine if in the can you imagine how difficult the Harlem Renaissance would have been if most of the intellectuals would have been in Tulsa in 1921? Can you imagine if in one fell swoop you were able to eliminate so much black intellect in this country in one fire, one attack on one city? That's why I say it's nothing wrong with your general idea at all. It's nice to have a place to go have a reprieve at that you can walk through the streets and not worry about that. But you we still can't concentrate too much of our leadership in that place. Now the black bank idea is great because we can all use a bank all over the country, the world. We could do that, and we could protect our assets um, in other ways that we would not have to protect the physical structure of our people. But if you're talking about consolidating the best and the brightest of us in one place without the ability on American soil, America will listen. Even if you did it to the tune of 90% and 10% of our white allies, right? They will kill them in order to kill the 90% of us. They will sacrifice him in a minute. How about schools? Yeah, schools are a great idea too. And just have to realize we have to make we see in the past we've always focused on building them instead of protecting them, and we have to go into it with the idea you don't come to the idea with how to build them because we have a blueprint for how to build self-sustaining black communities. We have that blueprint. We've always had that blueprint, and we always think that's the only thing. No, we have to enter into it with how do we protect the communities that we can organically build. How do we protect the schools that we Mary McThune, ring any bells? I mean, black schools um, have always existed because we couldn't go to school with white people. We created great. That's why I say historically black colleges and universities exist because we couldn't go to PWIs. We have people in special ops. We have the technology. I just need to know what I should look for. And I'm gonna say this: we had those same people in 1919 that came home from World War I, and that's why the Red Summer started because they fought back. I have a map between 1919 and 1923 of the number of black. Let me see. Hold on. It's called the Red Summer. The long hot summer of 1919. And even though they call it the summer of 1919, it extended from 1919 to 1923. Let me see. Let me pull this map up. Hold on. All right. Dun, dun. Hold on. Hold on. Change is coming. Hold on. Okay. What I put in? Not book map. Worry about a thing. Mhm. Where did I put this map at? And I want to show you maybe if I let's try that. Oh, that one's not a good one. Hmm. Nope. Don't want to talk. We can talk about the migration too, but I'm looking for a particular map. I think this one is a good one. All right. We'll go with this. This is large enough for y'all to see. I have one downloaded, but I don't. I also have terror of memory. All right. I had to make sure. No inappropriate tabs were open. Like, okay, now look at this. You hear Mad? Can you see this map? Is this map? Do I need to enlarge this map or is that good enough? Okay, hold on. Hold on. Change is coming. All right. Can you see it? It's okay. I can see dot. Right. Okay. This is the red summer of 1919. And like I say, this is extended. Now, every dot on this map was a black you see on this map burned between 19 and 19. You see it? The purple one there in Arkansas is Elaine, Arkansas. And this doesn't. This is just 1919. This doesn't even go to 1923. This is just 1919. That's why you don't see Tulsa on here or Rosewood. Okay, I'm glitching out. Oh man, hold on. Yeah, I glitched. I saw the glitch right then, and I'm on an ODS. All right, so those were just sitting, and it was caused. Now, understand what sparked this is mm, hold tight. See if I can find. Like I say, somebody. Yeah, where is my super suit? Okay, the Harlem Hellcats. Harlem Hellcats returned from World War II. Black men and were returning from World War One. Sorry, were returning from World War One, and they had been off in a foreign country fighting literally for this country's freedoms that were hiding out in Europe because that's where American freedoms hide out at. Please understand that's sarcasm, because But anyway, they had returned from Europe and they had guns and knew how to use them. And so a lot of what you see unfold from 1919 to 1923 is because black men were not just allowing people to do what they usually do prior to that in our communities. Because literally, like I said, we had been off in Europe playing hide and go seek with American freedoms, just like we do now. But anyway, so 1919 was a turning point because of that. Because now we were taking up arms against racists. And in response, they burned our cities down. Am I still glitching? They burned our cities down. Hold on. hmm Now, got another map. I'm show you some headlines. And I want you to notice the headlines I'm about to show you. This is from, and you will see a common denominator and thread in these headlines. Because these headlines, you are you are CI. I'm CI glitching. Now, this is June 19, 1919. And this is one of the first ones. White mobs in uniform attack African Americans who fight back in D.C. This also led to the burning down of a black subdivision, a black community in D.C. because part of the left out of this story is they were attacking servicemen. You know, everyone that is glitching, leave the live and come back. It fixes it. Okay, so this is a reality of 1919. Like I said, coming home, white servicemen that were fighting in trenches with black men in Europe against the enemy. It was one thing, but black men returned home after fighting for our hiding seek freedoms in Europe to only be treated, and people will say second class citizens. No, they were not treated like second class citizens. They were treated like they were not citizens of the country they were fighting for at all. So that's one of the first incidences of race riots starting in 1919, and it started in D.C. Now, I have that one I want to show you. I have another one. Stay with me. There's a See if this one comes up. All right, let's go to Chicago. I'm sure. Uh, let's go to Chicago. Same situation almost. See, we started to realize this was in 1919 also, right? And this is armed National Guardsmen standing on the sidewalk in Chicago. This is 1919. This is how they responded. I've been waiting to have this conversation with you for 2 weeks. I'm not going anywhere. Um, you want to have this conversation live? I can shut this live down, and I can start up a live that I can invite. We can have a panel discussion if you all would like. If it's not too late for you all. I could shut this live down and open up my ODS to what I can. This is the conversation with, and I don't really. I'd have to send you a live link to get into this one, but I can shut this one down and start one back, and we can finish this conversation. Y'all good? Y'all down? All right. Can y'all give me a hot second? We're gonna come right back here, and I'll be back in less than 2 minutes. All right.